Hi, I'm standing somewhat north of Folly Bridge on St Aldates, not all that far from the Alice shop, and I'm going to do what I do from time to time, which is to walk down the Thames and see what it's like at this time of year. But since there's a rather splendid mackerel sky, I thought I would start the walk a bit north of where I normally do. So, as I say, I'm on St Aldates now and standing outside Christchurch, which of course does cover quite a wide range of places because Christchurch is very big. That's a Christchurch only path. They don't like other people using it, although I don't remember them being so fussy when I was a student. These must be some of the unhealthiest seats in Oxford, with all the bus pollution. It would be much nicer to have them inside the garden over there. This is the Christchurch War Memorial Garden, but I'm not stopping here today.
Look, we still want you to come with spirits. We don't want you to be like...
Look at that. I used to live in South Oxford and I walked up here every morning and quite often had something to drink at a cafe, that cafe in fact just opposite the gate, so I got this view most days, which was rather excellent. Diagonal stripes on the lawn. I was just thinking it would be rather nice to mow one with a sunburst pattern of stripes, all radiating out from a centre. Anyway, let's go to Folly Bridge. That building used to be a pub called the Apollo, and that is the brewery insignia. This, or what's back of there, is called Trill Mill Court. And it's named after a stream called the Trill Mill Stream, which runs from Christchurch Meadow to, I think, somewhere not very far from the Westgate Shopping Centre. Maybe a bit further west than that, County Council offices. The Trill Mill Stream was at least partly put underground by Christchurch, or possibly by requests from Christchurch, because of the cholera epidemic in around about 1832, I think, give or take 4 or 5 years. The idea at the time seemed to be that streams exuded miasmas which carried cholera, which as far as I know is largely rubbish, or even entirely rubbish. But anyway, the stream was put underground, and it's famous because apparently T. Lawrence of Arabia, once went through it, or along it, in a punt, I think. I'm not sure whether he was actually wading along the bottom of the stream or whether he was boat-borne. And he found the skeletons of, according to legend, 2 Victorian undergraduates in a rotting Victorian punt. Now, this may well be an urban myth, because I'm fairly sure that I have seen things saying that in fact it never happened. And that's something I will check on at some stage and try to do a walk round where the Trill Mill Stream is. So watch out for that. But even if it's not true, it's something that the Trill Mill Stream is known for. That T. Lawrence apparently explored it and found 2 Victorian undergraduates in a rotting Victorian punt. If anybody can tell me the true story of what he did and what he found, if anything, please comment. Okay, so I'm now coming up to Folly Bridge. That's the head of the river pub. And that's the Thames. It's one of those wishy-washy sort of days. It's November, so you're glad to have any sun at all. But there's not much warmth in it. and the wind is penetrating your clothing with fingers coming from the east. And you know that darkness will soon fall because it's only about 2 hours to sunset. Okay, most people who've seen my videos will now know Salter's Steamers, but in case you don't, they're a boat hire company. Self-drive motorboats, rowing boats and punts. And you can get, for example, cruises from here to Iffley Lock and here to Abingdon, which is about 6 miles away. Here to Sandford probably too. I thought he was building a punt, but he's just, I think, doing a bit of cleaning. It's the 11th of November today, Remembrance Day, and things have definitely turned. The trees are much yellower than when I came down last time, which I think was early September. Leaves everywhere. And that's Christchurch Meadow. And in the distance on the left, past the inlet, are the boathouses. And I am pretty sure that this is where the Cherwell, the river, ends. Oxford has 2 rivers, one of which is the Thames and the other is the Cherwell. And here the Cherwell meets the Thames, coming into it at an angle on the left. And that is the end of the Cherwell. And the honour of having the rest of the river from here southwards is called the Thames, not the Cherwell. You always have to decide which name to give that part. Still plenty of narrowboats here. Abingdon Road over there. the old Roma on that blue boat. That's a desolate sort of landscape with the trees in so much shadow and the layers of misty cloud. I think the generally accepted response would be, makes me want to curl up in front of the fire with a hot toddy. My response is, makes me want to go and live in Athens or possibly Estoril in Portugal, which is where a lot of expats settle, close to Lisbon. I think they're famous for racing. Somebody Portuguese once told me that Estoril was lovely because it had 2 springs a year, one in spring and one in autumn. Then my Portuguese friend told me that what Estoril actually had was 2 idiots. They're doing some construction or renovation over there. That's Savvy, one of the companies you see. And there's one thing, because it's university term, there's a fair amount of student rowing going on. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to be buzzed by rowing coaches cycling up and down the river at top speed, shouting instructions to their crews. Hope she doesn't lose the baby. Okay, there you are. You can extract that video frame and send it to your grandmom in Illinois. Idyllic scene of university rowing.
aquí donde hacen la regata aquí.
That's Oxford River cruisers. They're the ones who are not salters. Their headquarters is on the other side of Folly Bridge.
No, I mean it's no, but I mean when it actually you don't have any choice. So
Yeah,
is it like
yeah, I think
And there they go back to Folly Bridge. Oh, that's what they're doing. It isn't only what they're doing, but they appear to be building something, a new boathouse maybe. With a rather different design to all the existing ones. Okay, that's the University College Boathouse. Now, I'm going to do something different. When I walk down the Thames, I normally go straight on to Donington Bridge, which is rather more than the same again. What I'm going to do this time is to follow that path to Abingdon Road and then cross over and connect up with one of the other areas that I've been doing recently, which is Lake Street and around. So let's see whether I can get all the way along here. You see, they obviously have to have some sort of track here to allow the boat carriers and other vehicles in. Boat transporter. So I'm now heading west towards Abingdon Road. If you know anyone who knows Oxford well or claims to know Oxford well, show them this and insist on them telling you where it is. Ooh, somebody's fitness trainer is talking to them. I thought so. So this is now the Voco Spires Hotel complex. And this will take me to Abingdon Road. And there is Lake Street. If you saw my Lake Street video, you may remember me standing at the end of it, looking across Abingdon Road to this. And I'm very close to the what used to be the Portuguese shop and cafe that I went to often and that closed a few months ago. So this is Lake Street coming up. There's another street parallel to Lake Street south of here on the left, but you can't get to it down there. What you can do is to get to it down there. It's now called Vicarage Street, I think. It used to be Post Office Street, and they were both built at the same time in, I think, the 1850s, after a large field, or two large fields here, were sold off for that purpose. Oops. This is Gordon Street. Don't know whether that's a memento to General Gordon or not. Used to be called Cross Street, which was a rather more logical name. So now I'm going to continue going west for a bit, having gone west from the University College Boathouse. That's the South Oxford Community Centre. Which I've talked about before, used to be a pumping station. This has been blacked out since I was last here.
faci. Dar tragi
Asta
gardul.
îți tragi gardul, pui toate balele pe
Da.
picioare, ia, ca să
Aveți de
fie
lucru. Uite că, că strângeți de pe acum, mă. Mai ai de... E și un sfert. Colin, strângeți de pe
și
acum.
pe urmă trebuie să-l leg pe aici.
Bun, strânge de acum. Mai ai ceva de spate, pun roaba aia.
So I'm going to cross the lake that used to be a gravel pit. And now the railway. As I've said before, that is a ridge across the A34, and you can walk along it rightwards to a path that takes you down to North Hinksey, and this track leads into South Hinksey. And now I'm coming down onto what I think of the Devil's Backbone, though some people say that the track over the bridge counts as that too, a twisty little path that goes into South Hinksey. And it's rather fun to think that maybe once it went all the way to where University College Boathouse is now on the Thames. So this is the Devil's Backbone going to South Hinksey. And I suppose the devil is always associated with things that are crooked and things that are wrong and things that are twisty. And apparently Devil's Backbone is a traditional name for paths like this. So this is I can't remember in the heat of the moment which particular stream this is. There are so many. Might be Hogacre Ditch. No, I don't think so. And now I'm going to turn roughly northwards. This is what's called Electric Road. It's got high voltage electricity cables under it, which connect some sort of substation thingy there to another sort of substation thingy over in the distance off Botley Road at the bottom of Ferry Hinksey Road. And I'm going to go back along Electric Road to Botley Road and then do my things once I'm nearer the city centre. That's the A34 on the left, neatly cutting off the rump end of South Hinksey from the rest of the village. This, I believe, is what's called a permissive footpath. It's not actually a public right-of-way, but the council have managed to get the owner's agreement for it to be treated more or less as such, so that we can walk on it without fuss, which is nice. I mean, informally, it's been like that for years and probably decades. So that's one impediment to passing over it removed. The other I don't know about. I have come this way before and been stopped by dips in the track being full of water, but it's been quite dry recently, so I'll have to hope. You see, there's an abundance of pylons here, and they're obviously not supplying houses in the fields. There's the sun. Well, that's just an experiment. I want to see how easy it is to run while holding this thing. Seems to be easier to hold it in my left hand than my right. But the ground is quite stony, and I think I'm too worried about tripping over stones, which I can only imperfectly see in the screen. I'm also not sure how stable this will look. The programme takes a lot of pictures. It's obviously got pictures from every frame, and I think it probably takes more around the edges than what it shows. So to some extent it can compensate for shake by moving the pieces around so that the same object roughly is in the same place in all of them, and they match up, what printers would call registration. I'll see when I disgorge the video just how well that worked, if at all. Maybe that's the most comfortable position. Got my bag caught. Well, I'll see how that looked. Come up to one of the natural barriers, one of the streams. The air has a definite tendency towards what is called bracing, as in the famous Jolly Fisherman advert, Skegness is so bracing, meaning basically bloody cold. If you're from Yorkshire, you have to be able to call anybody who doesn't like such air a great southern softy. And if you're from Newcastle, you have to be able to walk around on the 11th of January wearing just a t-shirt and survive it. Wow. Okay, well, you can send your granddad in Kansas that one as well. So that's what that is. And that on the right, behind the trees, is almost certainly the Osney Mead Industrial Estate, or part of it. So to recap, I went from Folly Bridge, or just north of Folly Bridge, down St Aldates to Folly Bridge, and then down the Thames to the University College Boathouse. Then I walked to Abingdon Road and went through the grounds of the Voco Spires Hotel. Then I walked up Lake Street and looked at a cross street that gives to Vicarage Road on the south. And then I went across the Lake Bridge and the railway bridge and a bit of the Devil's Backbone, and now I've come up along the top of this cable channel, and it ends at a small substation thingy next to the Osney Mead Industrial Estate at the south end of North Hinksey Road, and from there I can get onto the Botley Road, which takes me back to the city centre. And this is called Electric Road, and it's open for people to use, and it's a really nice walk, and you can connect up with various paths going in other directions. Like that. In fact, that is over there, the Thames. It joins up with the Thames going north, or it is the Thames going north from Folly Bridge, and there's a path across the fields to it. And what's at the bottom of the industrial estate, whose buildings I can now see much more clearly because a lot of the trees have lost their leaves. What's at the bottom is the Bulstake-Stream, which up till 1790 used to be the main channel of the Thames, and then the Thames was remodelled, probably to accommodate the canal, because the canal was finished at about the same time. So what was thought of as the Thames used to swing quite a bit further west than it does now. So in those days, Oxford's relation to the Thames was very different. If you looked at my if you looked at my Hythe Bridge Street video 2 or 3 weeks ago, why is Hythe Bridge Street so nasty? You may have seen me commenting on the general dereliction, and one case of it being a business called Lung Wah Chong next to the Chinese supermarket, or possibly actually they are the Chinese supermarket, and their lettering is falling off the wall. They don't even have the pride to fix it properly, and I remembered them because I was in their car park trying to get the north side of the Bulstake-Stream on the other side, somewhere over there, and they didn't like me doing that at all. It's much easier to do this sort of walk on the south side of Botley Road because there's a huge amount of contiguous green space. On the other side, most of it is both privately owned and doesn't have any permissive tracks going through it. Botley Park, behind the community centre, is an exception. So you can't follow the streams and get easily from one place to another, which is a shame. It diminishes your sense of what Oxford is like on that side. And there is the moon. It's probably the first time you've seen that during one of my walks, but it is only about 15 minutes to sunset. I suspect that we'll have a very red one. Oh, and there's one of the tracks that I'm talking about to somewhere near North Hinksey, I suppose. Thanks, I'm just doing a walking video.
Okay. Sorry for the bargain.
So that is the industrial estate. There's a van and a warehouse. And I can see that there will soon be some glorious sunset colours shining off those metal springy cable holders on the left-hand side of the pylon. Well, on the left-hand sides of those cable holders. Now, it's hard to tell how accurately my phone is reproducing these. There's a whole branch of photography called computational photography, which is about digitally processing images to look better or different. And one of the things that huge amounts of work have been put into is writing software that tries to correct users' mistakes in taking photos, and also the inadequacies of the tiny camera lenses and such like. And the people who write this stuff know the sort of photographs that camera users like taking, and sunsets are always popular, so I'm sure they've got some stuff that is devoted to optimizing and improving photos of sunsets, and this photo may well get fed through that. This video, I should have said. pylons at sunset. In fact, the springy things on the pylon that I talked about look quite a bit redder on my screen than they do when I look at them directly, which suggests that maybe there is an algorithm in there that's doing some funny stuff. Here I want feeling vacant. And that is the industrial estate on the right, and I am now at the bottom of North Hinksey Road. That is that. This is Willow Lane, and I've been along here to a pub, the pub in North Hinksey called The Fishes, and I'm going to walk a little way now. My video may end abruptly because I'm getting a battery warning. This green bridge is identified on Google Maps as Pontus Spondulicus, which I'm pretty sure is not the name the council gave it. Pontus Bridge and Spondulicus, probably from the American slang spondulic, meaning money. Maybe somebody thought the council had spent too much. That is the Bulstake-Stream going down there to connect up with a bit of itself that goes behind the industrial estate. And on that side, it eventually goes under Botley Road and round the north side of Botley Park and joins the main branch of the Thames pretty close to Isis Lock, which is where the canal and the Thames join. That's a fairly new cycle path put in by the council that goes to Botley Road.
I've been to Aldi like 3 times, but
And in a minute I will come to North Hinksey. And over in that direction, a little bit further on the left, is the North Hinksey pub, the Fishes, which is well worth going to, but I'm going to end here. See you next time.